Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. Sorry for the late start there. We had a few technical problems that were solved by our friends Angelo and David, who unfortunately have both departed this planet now. I'm gutted, absolutely gutted. Could spend half an hour just talking about David Lynch and how much of an influence on my life he was. And although, I didn't like all his films, probably about 75% of them I really, really loved, and the other 25% I could take or leave. But at least he wasn't around to suffer the indignity of what's happening on Monday. The American people have put back into power, into office, Donald Trump, a rapist, a racist, an all-round scumbag, a guy who tried to mount an insurrection against the US Congress building, the people in it. He sent a mob to kill his fellow lawmakers. A guy who tried to, who did steal documents, classified information from the White House and sold it to the highest bidder, leading to the deaths of dozens of secret agents around the world whose identities were uncovered in those papers. The amount of trouble this guy's caused is literally off the charts. Unfortunately, there's just been a knock at the door, so I'm going to have to go and sort that out. I'll leave you with the Twin Peaks music while I go sort that out, because sorry. I need to go and open the door. So I'll do this, and I will put the intro screen up. There we go. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Turn the music down. Sorry, a little commercial break there. I had to answer the door, I'm afraid. This is what happens when you're a one-man production company, entertainer, traveller, writer, dancer. Anyway, where was I? Talking about Donald Trump being a scumbag. I think we all know, Graham. Why are you telling us this? Well, I don't know. I feel like the reality of it is really dawning on us, because my fear, and anyone who's watched the Politics Social or the or Stateside where I've gone, but what's to stop him doing X? And then had a blazing row with the with our resident Americans, because like, oh, he just won't. And I'm like, but what's stopping him? That's my question. I'm not saying whether he's definitely going to do it or not do it. What is physically stopping him from doing really horrible things? And Michelle Obama's not going to the inauguration. I don't think it's a good idea for any politicians to go to his inauguration, who are not, so far up his arse they wear him as a hat. So Nigel Farage, fine, but yeah, the likes of Obama and Biden don't go there. He'll kill you, and he can do so with impunity. He'll have you arrested, put in jail, killed with polonium, killed with Novichok, whatever Putin supplies him in return for. I don't know, testing kits, like testing kits maybe. But Farage is going, and they've said, oh, this is a snub against our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. But it's not, because you do realise that the Prime Minister of the UK doesn't normally go to inaugurations of US presidents. It's not something that we do, since, they broke away from our empire, cheeky bastards. They were ours. We owned you, motherfuckers. Yeah. Yeah, do you think it was cool to own slaves, do you, America? Well, here's some news for you. We used to own you, you bastards. Ungrateful, bloody Georgia Sassenachs. Anyway, I am going to try and make this weekend as normal as possible, because I really feel like from Monday, things are going to go absolutely bonkers in ways that I feel like people on the left suffer from a failure of imagination when it comes to the crazy shit they can do. And I'm not saying that we'd all, sit there in the dark, jumping at shadows, going, oh shit, this is going to happen, But at least imagine it. At least imagine a scenario where this thing might happen, so we're prepped for it. Because every time something like this happens, like Trump gets re-elected, Trump doesn't go to jail, we're like surprised, or the Brexit vote goes through, we're like surprised, we're like, oh shit, what the fuck? I didn't expect that to come. And you get all these people beforehand who are like, no, he'll never win. And you're like, okay, you seem really confident, but where's the evidence that you've got to say that? Well, it's just because this, and this. And the evidence given is like, okay, I think that would work for any other politician, but Trump isn't any other politician. He could shoot someone in the face on Fifth Avenue and not lose a single vote. 77.7 million Americans voted for a rapist, someone they know he's a rapist, someone who said he's going to deport over 13 million foreign nationals from America. Like, that is a huge chunk of the American workforce. And these people work. Like, they don't just sit around all day playing cards. Like, they are hard grafters. And it comes down to people like Zoe and others who are actually, Zoe Gardner, who are actually making the positive case. The SNP do this as well, the positive case for immigration. I think the Lib Dems are tentatively stepping in that direction. They were great this week talking about we need to re-enter the customs union, which, we all see as a first step towards our eventual rejoining of the EU, which is something that we desperately, desperately need to do. We need to rejoin the EU, not for shit and giggles, but because the future of our country depends on it. Otherwise, we're going to be some vassal state of the US. We're not going to be the 51st state. I'm sorry to tell people who think, we'll invite, the Clarksons of this world, the little Johns, the little Dicks, the little fucking Farage twats, who sit there going, oh yeah, we want Trump to come and rule our country. We're not going to be a state, okay? We're not going to get any voting rights. We're going to be like Puerto Rico. We'll be an overseas territory. We won't get any rights. We'll just be Airstrip 1 for America. That's what we'll be. The 1984 future envisioned in 1948 by George Orwell, Eric Blair. He said it. He said that this would happen, and it's happening. We've got it all now. We've got constant 24-hour surveillance, Big Brother in everyone's house, Alexa listening to everything you say and digitally processing that and finding ways to sell the shit to you that you don't need and you don't want. I love it when you buy something online and then for the next 10 years, you get advert to that thing that you bought. It's like, oh yeah, I'll buy another one. I'll buy another alpaca. Well, who needs 2 alpacas? You've got one. It's fine. That'll do. That'll do. I got my alpaca on eBay. Don't need another one. Jesus Christ. But yeah, and then we've got what's happened with these tech bros in America. Your Jeff Bezos of Amazon, your Musk of scumbaggery, SpaceX and Starlink and Tesla and Twitter, and he's got his tendrils in all these different companies. I mean, he mustn't get much sleep because he's tweeting 97 times a minute. So, I mean, how does he get the time? And he's doing ketamine. How does he get the time? You know, or maybe it's not that hard to be a CEO. Maybe you don't have to do that much. Maybe you're just a front man. Maybe you're just a clown sent out to entertain the troops. So they buy more shares in your tech stock, which, you know, Tesla is a tech stock. It's not a car company. Like, the amount of cars they make and the amount of cars they sell is like tiny compared with Toyota or Ford or GM or one of the grown-up companies that actually make cars. I mean, Tesla's a bit of a joke in that respect. Like, I mean, in terms of the price of the shares, the value of the shares is just bonkers. It makes no sense whatsoever. It is a bubble and it will burst. I don't know that much about financial markets. I might be wrong, but there's got to be some value to the price. The price has to have a value. Price and value are different things, you know? What they say about people knowing the price of everything but the value of nothing. They're the people in charge. They're the people in charge. And then you've got Zuckerberg, who's the Facebook knobhead who no one likes. He's not MySpace Tom by any stretch of the imagination. Everyone liked Tom. Yeah, my first friend on MySpace, that can be Tom. He seems like a nice guy. Don't know who he is, but he just seems like a nice guy. What pisses me off about these sort of tech moguls is that if they want to be seen as royalty, if they don't want people to know they're fucking stupid, they should keep the fucking clanging manholes shut. That's what I think. But they don't. They've got to pontificate on everything. You've got Elon Musk being fed bullshit by Dominic Cummings. So you've got public school boy, you know, from England, public school boy from South Africa, teaming up to pick on Jess Phillips. So now she needs police security everywhere she goes, because it's her fault, this woman who has spent her life helping women, it's her fault that women are being raped. Not the fact that 99% of rapists get away with it. Not the fact that we have private schools that don't need to be inspected by Ofsted, which are, you know, a literal playground for literal paedophiles. And then you've got the Catholic Church, you've got the Church of England, both, you know, infested with pedos. And then you've got the Boy Scout movement of the UK and America and other places around the world where the, you know, kids have been abused. And yeah, Boy Scouts, still a thing. Church of England, still a thing. The school that James O'Brien went to, still a thing. Literally 2 chapters of the report into child abuse that came out in 2022 that went on to Kemi Badenoch's desk that she threw in the bin because she couldn't give a shit about children being abused. She never mentioned it in Parliament at all until last week. Suddenly she was really concerned about it. She was really vexed. So she was told to be vexed by Elon Musk, who in turn was told to be vexed about it by Dominic Cummings, a man who travelled to Barnard Castle, which is a 45-minute journey along the A167, and quite a dangerous journey to undertake. Like, his parents' property, which is just around the corner from me, comes out onto a dual carriageway that's 70 miles an hour. A 70-mile-an-hour dual carriageway. They're not in little suburbs. They're not in a little Barrett estate. Okay, they've got their own estate. They've got their own farm. They've got their own mansion house. And they have gates, and the gates open, and they go out onto a dual carriageway, which is 70 miles an hour. And he did that to test his eyes. In fact, it's got a barrier in the middle, like, so they can't turn right out of the driveway. They have to turn left and then go to the roundabout at the end of the road and come all the way back. They want to go to Barnard Castle, and then the rest of the way, a lot of it is single track. Not single track as in, you know, what one car can get through, but like one car, not a dual carriageway. And he did that to test his eyes on his wife's birthday to visit the beauty spot of Barnard Castle. And now he's advising Elon Musk, who's telling, in turn, the leader of the Conservative Party in this country to pick on Jess Phillips. And now Jess Phillips needs police escorts everywhere she goes. Great. Well done, everyone. Not you watching this. You're awesome. But we're going to try on this channel to just have a little island of sanity in this madness, in this absolute madness that is unfolding all around us. But As Nick and Diff says, pay attention to what Trump does, not what he says. He just wants to stuff the airways with shite. I barely pay any attention to the mad old git. Better off for my mental health. Yes, Nick and Diff, absolutely. I think that's true. I think that, we should hope for the best. He does fuck all, just goes out and plays golf and lets his minions do all this evil shit for him. But, prepare for the worst, that he does decide to go and kill all his political enemies, that he triggers World War III, in which we are fighting with the Chinese against Russia and America. Oh my God, it's going to be nutty. Like that's the if you pitch that as an idea in Hollywood, I've got this idea of a movie about World War III. Oh, who's the combatants? Well, it's Europe and China, yeah, against Russia and America. What you mean, like Russia versus America? No, Russia and America are on the same side, along with Saudi Arabia. Okay, is that likely to happen? Surprisingly, yes. Oh, well, also, Israel's on the same side as Saudi Arabia and America and Russia. Because they really need to sell that oil, And you know what a really great way to sell oil is? Lots and lots of oil. It's just to have a war. Have a big old, juicy, mechanized war. Anyway, Epstein was a New York private girls' school teacher, a banker who just happened to be a parent, then offered him a job. That seems dodgy. I didn't know that. So he worked at a private school. Jesus. Nick and Diff, did you see the gamer video where they exposed Musk as a liar about his gaming credentials? Basically, he's paying someone to play Diablo all hours while he rage tweets and claims he's a top gamer. Yeah. So as our friend Katie Montgomery, beautiful Katie Montgomery, was doing a video about this week, she just thought it was absolutely fucking hilarious that he basically people said this wasn't you. He's in the top 10 for Diablo 4 in the world. And they're like, this can't be you. You've got to spend thousands of hours of gameplay to achieve this. And then he said, no, look, here's me playing it. And he was playing it like a total noob. Like, he just didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was clicking on areas that you wouldn't click on if, you'd know they weren't accessible if you had played the game at all. So he hadn't played the game at all. And yet he's so sad and pathetic and needy. He has to pretend that he's really good at a video game in order to get respect from his weird... I don't know. And this is part of a strategy. I'm sure he talks to someone about all this. Like, how do I get the weird people on side? And not like the good weird people like David Lynch or me or maybe you. Not the good weird people. We're the good weird people. Nothing wrong with good weird. Good weird is actually very good. But bad weird? Oh, mate, no, don't go down those rabbit holes. Don't fall for that conspiracy theory. Don't go. What are you doing? Get away from that shit. It's toxic. Oh God, you're listening to Joe Rogan podcast. You're watching videos of that rapist. What's his name? Andrew Tate, alleged rapist. I just okay. It's just you're on a conveyor belt, mate. Get off the conveyor belt before you get into the big machine that mashes up your brain and leaves it like all mangled up. Anyway, yeah, good weird, not bad weird, please. How are there still people in the world that don't think he's an absolute puddle of cringe? I love that expression. Power to the people. He is a puddle of cringe. That is it. I mean, he's like a divorced dad. He's pure divorced dad energy. If you could distill divorced dad energy into a vial and then make a human being out of that energy, that's the monster that you would create. And it's going to be, it's going to be difficult. Anyway, but I want to talk about a couple of things, like glimpses of sunlight on the horizon, okay? Glimpses. First of all, he needs to go through Congress to get any of his big spending bills done. So, in order to afford to be able to, for instance, go to, deport 13 million people, which will cost billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to do. In order to do that, he needs to be given money by Congress. Now, Congress, we're going to do, they were trying to get, this is, famously, Congress were trying to get through a a piece of legislation that would allow him to have an uncapped spending when he was in charge, which didn't go through. So he has to ask Congress. This is like, because the president is the American king. Like, he is a king of his country. They elect a king every 4 years. A president, especially a president of America, it's not just a ceremonial post, although it is too. They are head of government, they are head of state, the head of the FBI, the head of the military, the head of the CIA, the head of the Coast Guard, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So they have the power of a king. They have the power to veto anything that Parliament wants to do in America. So anything Parliament comes up with, the president's got two things. He can veto it outright, which can be defeated back in Parliament, or he can pocket veto it, where he just doesn't sign it. He just puts it in his pocket, effectively, or puts it in a drawer, and doesn't sign it by the end of that session of Congress. And as a result of that, the bill fails. This happens all the time. So when you have a Republican president and a Democratic House and Senate, nothing gets through, and vice versa. And so when you think about like domestic policy that Trump wants to carry out, drill, and all the other shit, he is going to be hamstrung. However, and this is the thing, when it comes to getting that stuff through, don't forget, he's got the trifecta. He has got the presidency, he's got the House of Representatives, the lower house, he's got the Senate, the upper house, right? However, the grip on the lower house is absolutely tenuous. It amounts to basically one vote. So if one person is stuck in a traffic jam and can't get to the vote on the Republican side, there's a good chance they won't get it through. One person, just one of the 200 plus members of the House of Representatives, if one of them is stopped getting in because, I don't know, your car has broken down on the freeway leading into the, where the Capitol building is, and, you accidentally, I don't know, stop it across 3 lanes of traffic, and therefore they just can't get to vote in time, then Trump's spending bills can't go through, and if the spending bills can't go through, he can't do the stuff that he wants to do. However, sorry to be the, I lift you up and then I'll knock you down. Oh wow, we've got a load of Politics Social memberships that have been added. So I'm gonna do that in a moment. Welcome, new members. Welcome. Put that down there. Welcome. Andrew Dixon, you absolute legend. I still haven't fixed the font, so it's the right bloody size, but I will. Anthony Fisher has been gifted the membership. Plum Duff has been gifted the membership. Ben Viddings, AJ Glam and Crime, Mad Monk 33, Biden Favor Compop has been given a membership. We've got Mining for Pies, Daniel Connerbeer and Ben Stringer, and Sean Streeter. Thank you. Welcome to the channel, my friends. You have all been gifted Politics Social membership, so enjoy your stars. But send me a message now, because you will have a star. Andrew Dixon there, he's got a star after his name. Wow, Jess, this is brilliant. Andrew, thank you. Just a little gift to take the sting out of Monday. I don't seem to be on the credits either. Andrew, I will definitely add you. I'll do that after this while I'm setting up for this afternoon's show. But yeah, I will do that. Anyway, so I'm going to lift you up and say there's a good chance that he won't get anything through Congress. However, now I have to knock you down. But don't worry, I'll lift you up again before the end. Here's the thing, right? And this is the argument that I had with Mikey on Monday. And I still don't think, and you might disagree with me, and that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything. And we shouldn't. Generally speaking, we're singing from the same hymn sheet. But obviously, there are a few things that we disagree on. And we need to know that is healthy and not fall out about it. Because the left, what they do all the time is they go, oh, you think X is X and I think Y is Y, and we're never going to talk again, even though like 99% of the stuff out there we agree on, and then we've got this 1% like, oh, I'll never forgive him. But when it comes to his grip on Congress, my worry is that he realizes he can't get anything through Congress because of all those pesky Democrats. And there is nothing stopping him sending an armed mob, like he did last time, again, to the Capitol building to go and kill everybody in the Capitol building that he doesn't like the look of. To murder them with guns. Literally murder them. In the full glare of the world's media. There's nothing to stop him from doing that, because not only is he immune from prosecution, because he can claim that was part of his political duties to do that, and you think that the Supreme Court are going to change their mind on that after seeing the bloodbath in Congress? No, they're not. And also, he's got people on the inside now, like nearly everyone in the Republican Party who's been elected is a MAGA, so they're all on his side. There's going to be very, very few dissenters against the mad shit that he wants to do. And they are nutty enough, and at least, a few of them, like Bobart and Marjorie Taylor Greene, at least two of them will barricade the doors, the secret passages out, the tunnels out of the back in case of emergencies that they need to evacuate the building in case of an insurrection or something. They will barricade those exits, and the people, the Democratic senators, Democratic representatives, senators and representatives will not be able to get out the building. I mean, that's a plausible thing that could happen. And as we bashed out last Monday between me and Mikey, he was saying, "Oh, the Speaker of the House could stop it," and I'm like, "The Speaker of the House is a mad Trumper. Like, Mike Johnson, he loves Trump. He'll do anything that Trump demands. He'll do anything that Trump says. He loves Trump. So what are you gonna do? Seriously, what's the plan? What is the plan here? Because if they do that, the Democrats need to think that they might do this and have a plan in place in case they do, so they don't get caught like a rabbit in headlights. So if they see an armed group massing nearby, get the fuck out of there. Like, just get out. Get out, because there is nothing stopping Trump from doing this. And you might say, but Graham, it would be illegal for these people to go into the Capitol building and murder everyone they don't like. Being told on their phone in real time who to murder, by the way, with a photo and a little name thing. Go find this person, kill them. Trump will not get into trouble for it because he's above the law. But also the people who do it, even if they get arrested, even if they get put on trial, even if they get found guilty, even if they get sentenced to death, he can pardon them at any time he wants. He's the president. He can just pardon people for everything, anything. So he will. And that's what he'll do. He's going to get in on Monday and he's going to pardon. His first order of business is going to be to pardon everyone who was involved in the January the 6th riot, which ended up in the deaths of 9 people and cost over $3 million worth of damage and also injured 150 police officers. Every single person who was there, and they're not all still in jail, but even the people who were in jail will get pardoned, and that criminal record will be expunged. He may well pardon himself because he's a sex case, obviously, and he was found to be a sex case in a court in New York. And while I don't think that he can overturn the sentence because it's not really a sentence, it was a civil case, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the address of the White House, will have to be on the sex offenders register, right? Because he's a sex offender. He's been found in a court, an adjudicated situation of being a sex offender. So he has to go on the register. So, he'll probably just find a way around that. Like, he finds a way around everything because he's got the billionaires on his side. And this is the argument that I've made constantly, about Trump's big comeback. He's got the billionaires on his side. And if you've got the billionaires on your side, you can do pretty much anything. And this is the world that we're heading into. Now, I'm not an accelerationist. I don't go, I hope things get really bad, because then people will actually rise up and fight against the bad people. Because I don't want people to die. I don't want people to suffer. I don't want people to die in pain prematurely before their time. I don't want any of that. Why would I want that? And in order to what? Make the world slightly more better than it was 10 years ago? I mean, okay. It seems to me that when things go down the route of tyranny and disaster and murder and killing your political enemies, and don't forget, Trump's got form on this as well. He killed Jeffrey Epstein. You think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in jail? Did he turn the camera off before he did that? Did he? Yeah. All right, mate. Bless. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, as you know. I hate most conspiracy theories. They drive me up the fucking wall because they're so daft. But the president wanting to get rid of guy who knows things about the president, who's in jail and easy to get to, I mean, that seems pretty plausible to me. Anyway, but so he's already done it, and he's led by example. He is led by the example of Putin, who does this all the time. He puts his political opponents in jail and then he fucking kills them. Sometimes he doesn't even put them in jail. He just blows them out the sky with a rocket. Sometimes he throws them out a window. Not personally, he gets his thugs to do it, but, throws them out the window. Bye-bye, political opponents. I'm going to be president for life, which is what Trump's going to do. I don't think there's going to be midterms. I don't think there's going to be another election in 4 years' time. I just don't think it's going to happen. Trump can upend the system, and you'll say, oh, but it's unconstitutional, Graham. Yeah, but who decides what's constitutional? The Supreme Court. Who's right up Trump's arse? The Supreme Court. So, but I'll knock you down. I'm going to lift you up again. Little glimmer of hope, little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but it might just be a train coming towards us. So don't get too excited. But last week, Trump got sentenced, right? And just before he got sentenced for his crimes, he got off. But he put an injunction in at the Supreme Court, or a case into the Supreme Court, saying I shouldn't have to, be sentenced for this crime that I've committed and been found guilty for because I'm special. Now, you would have expected all 6 of the scum Republican scrotus people to vote for him to get away with it. And, Justice Clarence, of course, did. He voted for him to get away with it. And another one did. But 2 of those motherfuckers actually voted for him to get sentenced. They did vote for him, including Amy Coney Barrett, which was a bit of a surprise. But maybe they won't be completely awful. Because here's the thing, right? And here's my final little fucking ray of sunshine for everyone, okay? All the billionaires care about is making money. And they're a little bit obsessed at the moment with not paying tax on the money that they earn. They only want to pay 1% tax, less than that, hopefully, if they can get away with it. And what they're not focusing on is the income coming in. They think that money goes, line goes up, money goes up, price goes up forever, right? But if you enter a situation in which people have had their healthcare taken away from them, with Obamacare being repealed, because a lot of people don't realize that Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act, they're not going to have any money to buy things, to pay for things. You have people who are struggling to stay alive, to have enough money for food, to have somewhere to stay. They're not going to be scrolling for fucking adverts forever on Facebook or on Twitter. They're not going to be buying a Tesla. They're not going to be using Starlink. They're not going to be. So the amount of money coming in, because of the political disruption that these billionaire fuckers have caused, will go down, because they're causing chaos. They're causing anarchy. And therefore, it's not going to be like the pandemic where everyone was stuck inside, and so Zoom and Netflix subscriptions went through the roof because that's what we needed to do in order to communicate and entertain ourselves. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be different. And people are going to blame those tech billionaires who have put their heads above the parapet and supported Trump, like Bezos, like Musk, like Zuckerberg. And a lot of them are going to turn against him as things get worse for people. So even people with money are going to boycott them. And when that happens, they'll shit their pants, because World War III, I'm sure they think it's going to be fun. I'm sure they think that Civil War is going to be fun. I still haven't done my video about how much of a fucker Alex Garland is for making the movie Civil War last year and making it look like kind of cool. If you're a Trump fan, you get to kill your neighbors you don't like. Yeah, kill your neighbors. There's no disease. There's no child dying in its mother's arms because they can't get the basic medication they need to keep that baby alive. That's what happens in civil wars, mate. People die in a basement crying and starving to death and dying of easily preventable diseases. That's what happens in a civil war. It's not all like, yeah, I'm going to shoot my neighbor. Oh, and that line in that movie, I've never felt so alive after watching people fucking die. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, man, why did you make that fucking movie? But yeah, I was going to make like a little, this is before Trump got elected. I was going to say that was irresponsible. Now, I think it's not just irresponsible he made that movie. I think it's fucking criminal that he made that movie. Anyway, we might disagree. You might think that it made you feel that Civil War was a bad thing, but that's because you're a liberal. And yeah, of course. You watched it and went, that's horrific. But you got to think of the mind of a Trump person, of a Trumper. They were like, oh, fuck, that looks great. Oh, yeah, I get to live out me little fucking fantasies of shooting people on the street. It'll all be like a video game. I've never felt so alive. Fucking hell, Alex. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. I mean, I'm not as disappointed in Alex Garland as I am with Neil Gaiman, but fucking hell. That's another level of disappointment, but there you go. The last golden age ended with the Great Depression, just saying. A bit of a UK-based side question. Can you and Phil do a bit about benefits today and possible changes? I know Sarah was saying the other day. Yeah, let me make a note of that. Let me make a note of this. Benefits. Okay. That's someone. I'm going to talk about that. I just want to quickly go to the papers. I know I've gone over time, and we got loads of shows today, so you're not going to get sick of me, I'm sure. Yeah, in the meantime, let's go over to the papers. Here we go. We've got the papers not quite being in the middle of the page. That's kind of annoying. There you go. There you go. That's much better. That's much more better. Right. So let's just quickly go through the paper headlines. Startling male survey that shows young men and some women think men are now the oppressed sex. Okay. Attorney General was... Sorry, are there any laws that mandate what men are allowed to do with their bodies? Are there? I don't know. Maybe trans women, what they're allowed to do with their bodies, or women in terms of abortions and things. Yeah, they get legislated. Attorney General was paid $30,000 for representing Jerry Adams. Okay. What is going on with the Obamas' marriage? This is the Daily Mail, because she's not been at the inauguration. She didn't go to Carter's funeral because Trump was there, and she's not going to the inauguration because Trump is there. Doesn't have anything to do with their marriage. Could be wrong. Labour blasted for being over toothless grooming probes. Ministers finally announced local reviews into child abuse scandal, but critics insist a full national inquiry. We've had a full national inquiry, you fucking dickheads. We had one. The Tories then put it in a fucking drawer. And then this ugly picture of ugly Trump doing his ugliness with his ugly fucking mug, face mug, fucking ugly. Loser. That's how most people on the internet spell loser. Loser loan rules could get economy on the move. Pro-growth agenda offers more hope for renters. Well, yeah, hope for renters would be nice. I love renting. I love paying for someone else's mortgage. And then we've got David Lynch on the front cover of The Guardian there, 1946 to 2025. The great American surrealist. He absolutely was. Phenomenal body of work, going back to Eraserhead, The Elephant Man, even the verse June. I mean, it was nuts, but it was... The plans he had for June are just absolutely staggering. And actually, some of the special effects are still pretty good. I mean, some of them are awful, but some of them still pretty much hold up today. And June was like 1984, then Blue Velvet, which is just absolutely fantastic. Dean Stockwell singing Roy Orbison into a light bulb, which is a formative memory of mine. Wild at Heart with Nick Cage. And then, Fire Walk with Me, which, that was a bit, it was a spin-off to Twin Peaks, and it was all right. It had David Bowie in it, though, which was fucking cool. And then we had Lost Highway, which I remember seeing at the cinema, in the 051 cinema in Liverpool. God, that's how old I am, which is fantastic. I love Mulholland Drive. Didn't think much of Inland Empire, but I loved Twin Peaks: The Return in 2017. I thought that was fantastic. Lots of fun. Anyway, Orange Man Baby's favourite band vow to unite mankind. YMCA will save the world. Orange Man Baby, Donald Trump's favourite band, Village People, hope their performance at his inauguration on Monday will help heal the world. Jesus, the Village People are playing at his inauguration. Oh my God. Anyway, urgent review to be held into grooming gangs. This is the story down at the bottom here on The Guardian, and obviously, this is like miles away from the front cover of the Daily Mail up here, where it's like toothless grooming probes, and this is urgent review into. And then we've got no Israel vote on deal until Hamas agrees on all terms. This is the cabinet in Israel holding things up, annoyingly, criminally, and then Eliane's life mattered. Her legacy will live on. Thug convicted of murdering kind-loving 15-year-old. And this is to do with bringing down the age of domestic abuse, because apparently you couldn't be charged with domestic abuse if you were under a certain age, and they want to change that so it could be any age, really, which it should be. UK Army now too small to play a major peacekeeping role in Ukraine. Doesn't surprise me. The army's tiny now compared to what it used to be. It's been run down by the Tory government over many years at Putin's behest, I assume. Why aren't you wanting to find the real truth? Grooming gangs victim message to the PM. She demands a full national. They found one person who was affected by the grooming gangs scandal. And my heart goes out to her, and what she's gone through is absolutely fucking dreadful. But there was a full inquiry and systematic look at what happened, and that was commissioned by the Tories. It took 7 years to put together, and it just ended up going in the bin because the Tories are in charge. The Tories put the thing that you want, the thing that you're asking for, they got that, you got that, and then the Tories put it in the bin and didn't act on any of the 20 recommendations that were given by it. But that won't be explained to her because she'll be surrounded by people for the Express, and they would have paid her a couple of grand to say what they wanted to say, probably, maybe, I don't know. Justice is done, but our hearts are broken. This is about the Alian knife killer being found guilty. Schoolgirl's family speak out about his 18-year-old convicted. Then we've got the terrible cost of the 466 days of conflict. This can't be forgotten. On the front cover of The Independent, they did a similar thing a couple of weeks ago with Brexit, where they had the cost of Brexit, where they have the numbers on the front, and the numbers just speak for themselves. 46,788 Palestinians killed in Gaza since the 7th of October 2023, according to its health ministry, with at least 110,453 others injured. It is just, the numbers are absolutely staggering, and the 345,000 people facing catastrophic hunger across Gaza. Catastrophic hunger. 1.9 million residents in Gaza forced to leave their homes, many of them multiple times. More than 85% of the population of the area. Just terrifying. Awful. BP under fire. Boss cuts 4,700 jobs in fight to revive shares. I hope that BP die. I want them just not to be a company anymore, because they're one of the most evil companies that have ever existed, and they destroyed the planet. Citigroup faces towering costs with Canary Wharf refit, climbing to £1 billion a refit. It's because they probably didn't build the buildings very well in the first place in the 1980s when they all got done up. They probably built it out of substandard concrete, which is one of my little things that I like to go on about. And also, welcome new members. I forgot to turn that graphic off. So it reappeared. It re-emerged, but welcome. Labour's comms are dire as usual, letting the rags twist facts. Yep. Can't do anything about Labour's comms, though. They just are shit. They are just shit. Shitty Labour comms. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about shitty Labour comms? There's not much we can do. But Anyway, so I'm gonna get going now. But I'm gonna leave you with the names of the people who are members of the channel. I'm gonna add Andrew Dixon to that list. I can't believe you're not on there. You should definitely be on there, mate. But what happens is you get like an updated list, and it's really shit the way they put it together. And sometimes it says this person was a member, but they're not a member anymore, and this. And like you end up with a massive spreadsheet of just names, and then and then you've got to put that into Adobe Premiere, obviously. So yeah, I will get onto that. Andrew Dixon, your name should be on the credits at 2:00 after the agenda, which is at 1:00. So we'll see you then. Hopefully, see the rest of you then as well. And just want to say thank you for clinging on to this channel, because we sometimes talk about stuff that is a bit close to home, and we sometimes talk about stuff maybe best left unsaid. But at the same time, we try and measure things out and go, okay, well, this is bad, but this is good. This is bad, but this is good. And so hopefully give a whole a holistic view of what the shit is going on in the world right now. And also Lego. We also make Lego on this channel. I'll be doing some more of this tomorrow morning, I think. Breaking me Lego model. Making some more of my globe of the world. Make another couple of quarters, I think, tomorrow morning. So join us for that. Tonight we've got the Friday night social at 9:30 tonight. So please join us for that. It's the same time as this, except it's in the night time. So yeah, please join us for that. That goes on into the night, and please enjoy. If I don't see you beforehand, enjoy your last weekend of relative sanity. Thanks for all the chats. Thanks for the memberships. And give us a like on the way out if you're, so inclined. And until next time, I will say, let me just do this. I'm just gotta do something here. Oh, hang on. What is even happening here? I don't know. I'm gonna try and leave you in the safe, capable hands of our friend, my friend and yours, David Lynch, who passed away yesterday at the age of 78. So thanks very much for watching. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye. Bye. Are you going to let me go? Are you going to let me go, OBS? There we go. Thank you. Got there in the end.